What's up, G.I. Joe fans? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Museum. I'll be your curator today. Guys, got another fun one for you. Another one of my really cool G.I. Joes from way back when. We bring you the G.I. Joe Marine Marksmen Trainee. Let's bring this guy in a little bit for you. Cool figure. I picked this particular G.I. Joe up in 2003 from Target. Doing some shopping in Target, and I found a lot of great G.I. Joes hidden away in the toy aisles at Target back in the day. And this was one of these particular ones. I wasn't tracking this particular G.I. Joe. Like I said, by 2003, G.I. Joe was winding down its 12-inch line. So they had a lot of basic card figures out, a lot of carded figures out. But they were all super cool, highly detailed, because this is the renaissance that between 2001 and 2004, Hasbro and G.I. Joe really made a beautiful union with making these figures to scale, I should say, more realistic with their equipment, their weaponry, accessories and clothing. Everything was made to scale, made more beautifully. And that's what you got with this particular G.I. Joe Marine Marksman Trainee figure. He came with the gung-ho grip hands, beautiful marksman rifle. You can see he's got the scope on it there. Clip right here. You can open and close that sight there on the scope. Binoculars. You know how I feel about these rubber bands that over a period of time deteriorate and just snap off as if it was holding it in place. Binoculars still in place. Molded t-shirt. This was an easy way for Hasbro to cut costs as opposed to making a cloth one. I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't have a huge issue with that. Cap. Beautiful head sculpt. I love these new head sculpts that came out in that particular time period. And on the back here, behind him, you had your cardboard cutout here of the marksman sheet that you could set up for him. And I thought that was just a nice touch for this figure. Like I said, this figure, to be a carded figure, came with his fair share of accessories and equipment. So you got more bang for your buck. I didn't pay a lot for this guy. I think I might have paid, oh my goodness, maybe $15, $16 back in 2003. And that wasn't bad for an action figure, especially for a G.I. Joe. They were well made. And on top of that, you didn't have to pay an arm and a leg. And Hasbro wanted to have another cheaper line of Joes that hardworking parents that couldn't afford $40, $50, $60, $70 G.I. Joe figures, but they could afford this. They could walk into a toy store with their kids and get them a really cool G.I. Joe for half the price. And I always thought that was really cool by Hasbro because G.I. Joe was so popular. And I wish they would have thought about that when I was growing up in the 1970s when G.I. Joes were extremely expensive and my parents couldn't afford it. So, but that's okay. Let's turn this guy around. Guys, if you're just joining us, welcome to the M.I.B Master Museum channel. Like and subscribe, guys. Join the fun. Join the family. This is what we do. Hanging out in my museum. And we're checking out our G.I. Joe Marine Marksman Trainee. Here's his equipment list on the side here. Ammo magazine there. Let's turn him all around. Get you a blown out shot. These cards were absolutely gorgeous, just beautifully made. Here's our Marine Marksman there in all of his glory. You see the marksman board over there that he has to aim at. Here's the backstory on the Marine Marksman Trainee. You can pause your video if you want to read this awesome information. And here's also look for the Coast Guard Tactical Law Enforcement. Now, we did a video on this guy, I believe. I'm pretty sure we did. You can check that guy out in our Coast Guard playlist. Let's get you a year. 2003, Hasbro. Like I said, just a really cool figure. These figures mean a lot to me now. They did then, but they really, over the years, the decades, they've come to mean so much to me because, you know, we'll never see these figures again. And you know, I wish G.I. Joe would, you know, start back producing these guys. I'm sure all of the G.I. Joe collectors share my same sentiment. As you can see, our G.I. Joe Marine Marksman Trainee is factory sealed. Just a beautiful figure. Not hard to find. Not very difficult. You can find anything on eBay. I would always tell you to check Cotswold Collectibles. For those hard to find figures, very difficult to find G.I. Joes or other action figures, I've always, and believe it or not, guys, I don't own every G.I. Joe ever made. It might feel like it at times that, you know, you guys see my videos, but there's a lot of G.I. Joes out there that I simply don't have. And for those ones that I don't have, I've always used Cotswold Collectibles because they themselves are collectors, and they do a very good job at promoting and marketing their product. And they never sell anything under C7. It's C7 or better, and you know what you're getting with those guys. So Art and his team has done a fantastic job at Cotswold Collectibles. But this is like just a beautiful, beautiful figure. Guys, what do you think of our G.I. Joe Marine Marksman Trainee? Do you have this guy? Are you looking for this guy? We want to hear all of that, guys. Let's get the chatter started about our G.I. Joe Marine Marksman Trainee. We would love to hear what you have to say. Leave a comment in the comment section right underneath this video. Guys, I'd like to thank you for hanging out with us today to discuss our Marine Marksman Trainee. We hope you enjoyed the video, and he'll be on display here in the museum for your viewing pleasure. You know the routine, guys. God bless. And keep collecting.